Hey 5192KN, I'm doing your birth chart reading for you. I'm just going to call you Kim because I think that's your name. Alright, Kim. So, your ascendant is in Aries. Ascendant is generally who you are, how the world perceives you, your first reaction to things. So, Aries will give you quite a childlike demeanor and it'll make you impulsive, a little bit impatient, but you generally want to be active and doing stuff. So your Sun and your Jupiter are in Cancer. They're in what we like to call a conjunction, so that's when two planets are pretty close to each other. So I'm sure you've read all about Sun in Cancer, how it's like motherly, emotional, nurturing, and sometimes a bit irrational because of the emotions. Having your Jupiter with your Sun is a good thing because Jupiter in Cancer is a very good place for Jupiter to be in. It gives you a happier outlook on life and allows you to care for more people without being too overbearing. So Cancer sometimes can be overly emotional, and Jupiter helps sort of mitigate that and make you easier going. It also is good for organising your home life and maybe starting small businesses. It's quite good for your career in general. So your next planet is Moon. Your Moon is in Scorpio. This is not such a good place for Moon to be in. Moon generally is quite tender, quite needing of love, and Scorpio is a very intense, very jealous, very powerful sign. So the Moon isn't quite comfortable there. And Moon is your ruling planet since you are Cancer, so you'll probably exhibit Scorpio traits as well. So yeah, overall, you'll have traits of Aries, Cancer, and Scorpio. Now, if we have a look at your Mercury is your mind and how you think and how you communicate and your outlook on life, your mental state. And that is in Leo, which paired with a Sun in Cancer is a good thing because Leo is open, Leo is expressive, and someone with a Mercury in Leo doesn't get boggled down by the emotions that someone typically with Mercury in Cancer will have. Also, Mercury in Leo gives you great organising, planning skills, and also makes you a boss. Yeah, boss. Your Saturn is also in Leo. So Saturn is like your inner father, your controlling side, your discipline, your willpower, and also it talks about your restrictions and your limits as well. So that is also in Leo. And Saturn in Leo makes you proud. Sometimes it makes you a bit boastful or a bit arrogant. Um, Maybe you might look down on other people, and you might also have a tendency to think you're always right, and you just think your opinion counts, and you tend to overrule other people. Now, the good side of having Saturn is Leo is again with the planning, the organising, the being a boss. Like, I think you shouldn't struggle too much being placed in roles of leadership because you should be able to direct things, direct people, so on and so forth. Your Venus is in Virgo. So Venus is like your expression of your feelings, how you relate to other people. It also has a bit to do with money and how you spend. So Virgo is generally a more quiet, more frigid, more perfectionist, more uptight sort of sign. Having Venus here will tend to make you a bit more of a perfectionist when it comes to relationships. So you might have a tendency to nitpick your partner, to nag, but you'll always be there to support your partner if they ever need a helping hand. And you should on frivolous things, which is good because Leo is a big spender, and having Venus in Virgo balances that out. Also, your Mars is in Virgo. So Mars is generally how you assert yourself, how bossy you are, your physical, I guess, energies, and a bit also about your sex drive as well. So Virgo, again, is a bit uptight. Mars, the advantage of having Mars here is you'll be very good at work. You will work flat out, and you will have a good eye for detail and just going on with tasks on and on. The bad thing is you might become really critical of other people. When you express your anger, you might become very severe and harsh in what you say, and you might criticize people, and yeah, they don't like that. Alright, so those are your main planets. The other ones are Neptune. Your Neptune is in Sagittarius, so that shouldn't play too much of a part with regards to your birth chart. Your Pluto is in Libra. Again, that's not too big of a deal. It has to do with relationships. When Pluto is in Libra, so maybe you'll have new radical ideas of relationship and how you like your relationships. Alright, your Uranus, so that's your other planet, which is outside. So this time, I think this placement will have an impact on your personality, because it's placed in your Scorpio as well, along with your moon, but it's not so close that it will have a really large impact on you. But Uranus in this position it makes you deeply intense, to a point where it might become a little bit perverse. So maybe you like psychoanalyzing people, or just nothing superficial. So you might look down on people who don't have very high moral standards, or you might look down on people who you think are doing frivolous things with their life. And but the good side of Uranus in Scorpio is you are very hardworking and you take life very seriously. You were talking about horse, yeah? So your horse in Chinese horoscope is horse, obviously, but your element is earth horse. So earth gives a sense of stability to your horse. A horse is exciting, extroverted, vivid, and animated. The horse is the life of any party he attends. It's a little bit different to Cancer, but it's not opposite to Cancer, and it's definitely, you can't say one of them is false. People will always have traits, planets, personalities that conflict each other, but that doesn't mean one is false. It just means you will feel that conflict in your life. You will feel different energies and different drives when you approach a task or a situation. So Earth Horse is one of the calmer horses. They are able to see situations from all angles and corners, relatively easygoing, and prefer to determine each pro and con before making a final decision. You work hard and don't like to shave on quality, good sense of humour, and very adaptable. So horses that I've met are generally quite free-loving, so they don't like to be tied down by like a full-time job. They'll rather live a bit more alternatively, I guess you could say. And you might find that as well. So let's talk a bit about houses. So houses is which parts of your life will you express yourself in. If I look at your chart, most of your, I guess, planets are from Cancer to Scorpio. So that is the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th house. So the 4th house is about family. That's where your Cancer is. It shows that you'll be quite good at taking care of your family. Your 5th house is a bit about creative endeavors and your ego. You also have Cancer there, but you have Mercury there as well. So that's good in that you might want to express yourself through film, because Leo, because it's good at directing and asserting its ego, and it's also creative, film might be something you should look into. Your next house, your 6th house, is in Leo, and you also have planets in Virgo in your 6th house. So 6th house is about how you serve other people. You have your Venus and Mars here, which kind of says you're very hardworking when it's for someone else. And your 7th house is in Libra, so Libra is about relationships and the other people of your life. So just having a look, overall you have a lot of family orientation, you have serving to other people, and you value relationships and also your creative expression. So you're saying how best to use these planets in your day-to-day life. I'd say try film out. I mean, because you have a creative mind and you have sort of some artistic ability, I'd say go for film, and you could be a director in this case. Director, producer, editor, that sort of role. Maybe leave acting and writing the script to other people, because you're Leo, you'll be able to direct, and your Virgo will make you very hardworking and organised in making sure you have a time schedule for your film and making sure it's released, making sure just all the finer details are done. Your moon in Scorpio. Alright, so problems that you might have in working with other people is a tendency to be bossy, a tendency to nitpick, and a tendency to react really intensely, emotionally, if something doesn't go your way. So those are the things to have a look at. Some things I'd recommend for you to look at are Reckless Tortuga. So if you haven't seen the sort of videos and stuff they make sort of comedy stuff, but it's quite relevant to day-to-day life. And I'll just put the link of an interview with the creators of Reckless Tortuga and an episode of one of the series they make. It's called Psycho Girlfriend, and you should definitely watch it, because I think your chart, you have potential in organising and directing things, whether it be a film or a small business like a cafe or a restaurant, or selling furniture or whatnot. I think you can succeed in these areas. The horse side of you won't want to be tied down, but that's something you need to work with within yourself. So you'll have a side of you that wants to be free, wants to run, and doesn't want to be on a schedule, meeting deadlines. But I think if you want satisfaction, you have to counter that, and you definitely have the ability. Your chart says you're a hard worker, very intense, and you have a good mind as well. So let me know what you think of the video. I'd be interested to chat to you. Alright, bye.